Hey, welcome everybody. This is the Options Moneymaker Q&A session. Today is Wednesday, November 4th, 2020. I'm Mark Dannenberg, and with me later on this evening, when we get to Q&A, will be Aaron Rumley and Michael Kastner. So before we get started, we've got a lot of newer folks in our community, and I just want to make sure we're all clear on what the purpose of this Q&A session is. Myself and my team, we represent Options Moneymaker, and we also in this Q&A represent New Cycle Trading and Analytics, the creators of our adaptive entry system software that we use in our live trading room. And we recognize that when traders are either just beginning their journey to learning how to trade options, how to trade futures, that they have questions. And there's not always a great opportunity to ask the question. Might be scratching your head, wish you could clarify things. Well, we make ourselves available every other week to address those specific questions. So this is all about you. This time is for you. We're here to respond to your questions. We firmly support the concept of learn to trade and then trade to earn. We want you to invest some time up front in really learning how to trade. This is not an endeavor where you just jump in and hold your breath and hope it's all going to work out. We're here to guide you. We're here to teach you. We're here to provide tools that we believe will help you be successful. And we support the concept of each of you viewing your trading as your own personal small business. So we're here to help you learn to trade and then transition into trading to earn. Some of the topics that we talk about during these Q&As are the adaptive entry system by New Cycle Trading. That is what we use to identify our trends. We trade it all day long in our live trading room, trading futures. We also use it first thing in the morning at market open to identify through a watch list of stocks and indexes we have some possible opportunities for options trades. The profit sweet spot matrix is something that we talk about also. We've got historical information back to January of 2019, now tracking the performance of those options trades that we take first thing in the morning. The live trading room, if you have questions about the live trading room, we're happy to address those. It really is designed for real-time trading and support. People who are in our live trading room are following along with guidance we provide throughout the market day, 8:45 a.m. Eastern to generally 3:30 to 4, somewhere around in there Eastern time. And we're there to not only just trade and help identify signals, but it's a real-time teaching environment for us, support environment. People can ask questions and clarify their understanding of a particular signal, particular trade that maybe we just took. Why did we close out of that trade? How do we recognize when the trend is over, et cetera, et cetera. Profit Builder Plus is our program, very comprehensive program that was created for options education. So for those folks who are really interested in immersing themselves in options trading, that is an ideal program for you. So if you have questions about that, we're happy to address that. We do offer a futures trading education course for teaching the risk and reward of futures. Futures are often perceived as being highly volatile, highly risky, but when you adopt a set of rules and you stick to those rules and you use a tool such as the adaptive entry system software, you can be extremely successful with futures trading. In fact, here in just a moment, I'm going to update our performance results from today. And more importantly, we're going to take a look at where our run rates, our average daily performance is projecting us to be over the course of a 12-month period. And then if you have questions about anything related to New Cycle Trading, we're happy to address those also. So one of the most important things that we feel a trader should do is when they've completed their trading at the end of each day, update their personal trading plan. The personal trading plan is a tool that we created to help you forecast what your income could possibly be through 12 months of trading. It's also a tool that helps set some goals for each day. You know what your run rate is, and you know that that run rate is driving your projected income for 12 months. And so it gives you a guideline as to what your goal for each day should be. What's your point production, profit production for each day? And if you hit that number, you can decide to continue to trade, or you can say to yourself, I've hit the number that I know will reach the goal that I have for a 12-month income. I'm going to stop trading. Now, there's nothing wrong with continuing to trade. There's nothing wrong with stopping trading. If you continue to trade, every trade you put out there, of course, puts risk out there. If you stop trading because your result at that point in time during the day matches up to what you'll be happy with over the course of 12 months, then that's something that you can decide to do. Remember, we view each of you as independent business owners of your personal trading business. So each of you makes the decision that is best, most right for you. So today at the end of the market day, we did not update our personal trading plan. So we're going to just take a few moments and do that right here. Now there are two categories that we primarily focus on. We have two different personal trading plans that are in process right now. And the reason we have two is because we wanted to show, when we started talking about the personal trading plan and started focusing people's attention to it, we wanted to show two different ways that you could accomplish your goal. So one is maybe trading from 9:30 to noon. It's a limited amount of trading time. It's not trading the entire day. And that is based on taking all of the adaptive entry system signals. There are 4 signals within the adaptive entry system. So that's taking all 4 of those signals as they present themselves, trading from 9:30 to noon. And then we also track what it would be like if you traded from 7 to 4. So basically 2.5 hours before the regular market session opens, trading until market close. Generally, we're stopping somewhere about 30 minutes before the regular market session closes, but then only taking the trend and the trend continuation signals. So that's 2 of the 4 signals that present themselves from the adaptive entry system. So we're going to take a look at the individual performance today, and then we're going to code that into our personal trading plan. So today we took 10 points of profit, 9:30 to noon, and we did 10 trades. Now each point of profit is, this is all based on the NASDAQ 100 futures, so each point of profit is worth $20. So each 1 point of profit is worth $20 per contract that we're trading. So today we took 10 points of profit and we did 10 trades, and today in the 7 to 4 category, we lost 25 points, and that's going to be at $20 a point also. So 10 and 10 and 25 and then 18, that's the number of trades that we did today. I can see right now that our win-loss ratio was a little bit lower than the norm. You can scan back up here and you can see that our win-loss ratio is usually in the mid-70s and higher. But today was a little bit more challenging, especially early in the morning. The overnight election results, people are still speculating as to what's going on with the election, who the winning candidate is, so there was some speculation in the market. The exchanges were anticipating speculation in the markets. We normally have a margin requirement per contract of $500 when we're trading the NASDAQ 100 futures. So it's generally a $500 margin per contract. Overnight is generally $1,000 per contract. Last night they raised it to $10,000. That by itself is an indication that it is anticipating volatility, anticipating possibly wild moves, and I believe it's now $10,000 overnight tonight also. So that's an unusual move, but it's indicative of what the exchanges are anticipating. So you know, I'm just going to kind of anticipate maybe some reactions, especially from folks who might be newer. If you look at this and go, wow, you lost 25 points today, you know, how does this system work? If I lose 25 today, I lost 52 yesterday. Okay, well, the more important part is looking at the personal trading plan. That really is the most important thing, because we're going to code in our performance for today, and then we're going to take a look at these 4 numbers up here, and I'm going to explain those to you. All right, so we're on the 9:30 to noon, taking all the signals. I'm going to go over here where we enter our performance. Now we had 10 points of profit, so 10, and that's $20 per point. Our personal trading plan has scaled us up to 3 contracts, so we have $600 of profit. And we did 10 trades, 3 contracts per trade, so there were 30 contracts. Now let me go ahead and put in the other information also in the 7 to 4 category, and then we'll talk about the 12-month projection of both categories. So today we were down 25 points, and that's $20 a point, so we're down $500, and we're scaled up to 3 contracts, so we had a $1,500 loss today. And we did 18 trades, and 18 trades at 3 contracts per trade is 54 contracts. All right, so I'm going to jump back to the 9:30 to noon category first. I'm going to start here. There's 4 numbers up here on our personal trading plan. This one is telling us that of the 52-week plan, which is forecasting our income, we have 17.6 weeks behind us. So we've already entered daily information for the first 17.6 weeks of a 52-week plan. Of that 17.6 weeks, there have been 29 losing days. 29 losing days. Now, this is where a lot of people will pause and go, "Oh my God, that's this, that's that, that's horrible." They'll start to make an assessment. And what I caution you about is, it's more important that you focus on the run rate averages. Don't get hung up on an individual data point. Don't get hung up on a big winning day. Don't get hung up on a losing day. I want you to get focused on what your run rate averages are, because regardless of what your average is, if it's producing a positive result and you can continue to perform at that level for the remaining balance of the 52-week period, you have a high probability of achieving the income that's being forecasted here, and it will be an income most likely that you'd be quite delighted with. So we've got 29 losing days out of 17.6 weeks. The average winning day is 23.11 points, and the average losing day is 36 points. Those averages are calculated in such a manner that they factor in the frequency rate of losing days to the number of weeks that we've already recorded. So taking that into account, these are our run rates. So what I want to do is forecast for the balance of the 52 weeks. We already have 17.6 weeks behind us. I'm going to forecast the balance of the 12-month period at those same run rates. So 23.11 for my winning days and minus 36 for my losing days. Now these numbers change a little bit each day, and that's why I think it's important that you record at the end of each day what your actual performance is, so that you know what your run rates are, and then those run rates are forecasted forward to give you the most accurate forecast of what your income could be over a 12-month period. When we started focusing on this, we started with a $5,000 balance. We made an assumption that we would never trade contracts, or let me say it this way. We will always trade a number of contracts where the margin requirement on those contracts is less than 10% of the balance of the account. The margin requirement on the contracts that we trade will always be less than 10% of the balance of the account. That's a limiting exposure to risk, and it helps us remain fairly conservative. Second thing, we can decide in our trading plan what the maximum number of contracts we want to trade is. We've chosen here at Options Moneymaker for this demonstration, we've chosen 3 contracts to be the max, but we can set it at whatever we want. Heck, if I put 50 contracts in there, which I don't think would be practical, but if I put 50 on there, The trading plan will not scale up to 50 contracts until there's sufficient funds in the account so that the margin requirement on 50 contracts would be less than 10% of the balance of the account. So we've limited it to 3. So based on the current run rate, 23.11 and minus 36, forecasting those same values going forward, and limiting our exposure of contract scale to no more than 3 contracts, starting with $5,000, the income projection for a 12-month period is $169,291. I think that's pretty reasonable, having started with $5,000, and you'll have to make the decision for yourself if that is meeting the goals of your personal goals for your personal trading plan. Now let's take a look at the other category. We've already plugged in our data, and right here in the contract override field, I always lock the number of contracts that we traded that day. So if I decide to change the number of contracts just to do a what if scenario and see what would it look like if I changed my contracts going forward, it won't go back and change the value of the contracts that we've already recorded. Okay, so here, 17.6 weeks. We started at the same time as the other category. We have 21 losing days in 17.6 weeks. That relationship of losing days to number of weeks is factored into our average of our winning days and our average of our losing days. So 34.91 is our average winning day, slightly less than what we had recorded before. And like I said, these numbers, these values will change slightly on a daily basis, and that's okay. That's why you should stay on top of it and enter your data on a daily basis. The negative value for our losing days, 28.05, so we're going to put in minus 28.05. And so now this is our run rate. We've achieved this level of performance right here. Now you can assess it and decide whether or not it's meeting your expectations, whether you hope to improve it, whether it's exceeding your expectation, whatever you decide to put on that performance as your own personal label. It is the reality of what you have done. And if you can continue to perform at that same level for the balance of 52 weeks, then limiting your maximum contracts to no more than 3, you have a potential of a $341,280 income. $341,000 having started with $5,000. Now I know that this value was about 20,000, 25,000 higher than that a few days ago. Okay, that's just the nature of the math. We've had 3 losing days in a row, but you go back here and you look at all the series of big winning days that we had in a row. One small loss, other, the winning days. Don't get hung up, like I said, on a single day or even a series of days. It can be a little discouraging, but use your personal trading plan to go back and look at what your forecast is. And if for $341,000 as an income forecast does not meet your expectations, having started with $5,000, increase your contracts if you choose to. That's your variable. I could say, listen, I already know that the number of contracts I'm trading and the margin requirement will be no more than 10% of the balance on my account, which I personally think is conservative. So I'm willing to increase my number of contracts going forward by 1 contract or 2 or whatever you decide. And all of a sudden we went from 341 as my income projection to 418 or 495, whatever you decide as your own personal goal. This is your personal trading business. So I'm going to leave ours at 3. I think it's a great example to demonstrate on a daily basis of what can be accomplished over a 12-month period. And again, these variables right here are going to continue to change. Sometimes they're going to increase a little bit more favorably. Sometimes they're going to decrease a little bit, have a little bit less favorable result. But the most important part is that on a daily basis,
you are forecasting out in the future based on what your actual run rate is. And so you have a reasonable idea of what your income could potentially be.